Student Forecaster Aaron Vitatoe here. Welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about spring and some of the warnings that come with it. Speaking of warnings, fair warning, I'm going to make spring sound like the worst thing ever. Don't really feel like that. But we're going to talk about some heat-related illnesses, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. I speak from experience. These are pretty bad. So let's talk about the major differences between the two. Heat exhaustion, of course, that comes with heavy sweating, some fatigue, nausea and vomiting, cold, pale, clammy skin. Heat stroke, however, is a lot more serious. You actually will stop sweating. That's your body stopping the production of sweat, trying to keep all of that water inside of your body. And with that, you'll have a higher body temperature as opposed to the cold skin of heat exhaustion. And a strong and fast pulse. With heat exhaustion, you'll actually have a weaker pulse. So those are some things to look out for. Heat exhaustion, the treatment's pretty simple. Just go inside or to a shady area, air conditioned preferably, and drink some water. But if you have heat stroke or you or somebody you know has heat stroke, make sure you take them to a doctor. Probably call 911, get an ambulance going, because that is definitely not fun. Trust me on that one. And with these higher temperatures that we're seeing, we're going to see some red flag warnings, specifically Wednesday, noon to 8 p.m. Those pink areas on the map here, that's the red flag warning here. In these brown areas, that is a high wind advisory. That is actually going to bring us to a fire weather watch on Thursday, so make sure you're not out there starting fires. I know someone in our A block, one of our stories, tried to start a fire. Do not be that person, because fire will probably spread, and that's a lot in part due to the high winds here. You can see in Flagstaff in this red area, 47 mile per hour winds peaking probably between tomorrow and Thursday. And mostly the high elevations, and especially northern Arizona, you're going to see those higher winds peaking at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, 51 miles per hour, and of course down in the valley, not too much of a concern, about maybe 20 mile per hour winds, so still higher than usual. Those high winds also blowing around pollen, something else to look out for. I know, a lot to look out for in spring. And so that brings allergy season. A lot of people are asking, how do I know if I have allergies or if I have COVID-19? Should I call off work? Well, that second one is definitely up to you if you're feeling sick. First one, though, here's a handy guide to talk about COVID-19 versus allergies. Look at the major symptoms here. With a cough, COVID-19, you'll usually have a dry cough, but of course you'll definitely have a cough. Allergies, you'll sometimes have a cough, but with the mucus accumulating, the congestion, it'll probably be more of a moist cough. With a fever, you will have that with COVID-19, never with allergies, so make sure that you are getting your temperature taken regularly if you can. And of course, nausea and vomiting, you will not have that with allergies. Sometimes with COVID-19. And the big one, loss of smell and taste. Now this one actually is interesting. With allergies, you actually might experience a loss of smell or taste, but that's usually associated with a stuffy or runny nose, whereas with COVID-19, you'll get it early on before any stuffy or runny nose. And so that is really the big difference to look out for those two, to know if you can go into work or if you should get tested. So if you're up in the morning, you get some allergies, just make sure that you look at those symptoms. Right now in Flagstaff, it's beginning to cool down, 56 degrees, pretty clear. Winds are dying down a little bit, southwest coming from there, 23 miles per hour though. So still a little bit of a wind, and that will pick up tomorrow. Today we saw a high of 62, low of 35. You can see that we are above average, but looking at the record, 75 degrees. We aren't really close to that. We're a few degrees above average, so I wouldn't say we're unseasonably warm. I'd say we're just a little bit above average. So nothing really to be too concerned about right now. And looking across the state, we saw high temperatures all around. 91 in Phoenix. I was actually over there over the weekend getting some White Castle, and it was pretty warm. 68 in Payson, 76 in Sedona. A lot of people are going to be there. 76, temperatures rising. Of course, 78 in Page. So like I said, be aware of the heat. Be aware of the wind and your allergies. It's a lot at once, I know. 35 degrees tonight as our low. Some clouds moving in, but those clouds are going to start moving out tomorrow and through most of the week. Actually, we'll get to that later. 61 degrees, gusts up to 47 miles per hour. Make sure you are keeping an eye on those gusts of wind, because it is, well, I think it's fun. A lot of people think it's not fun. But with the pollen, a lot of wind, we might see some more pollen, so allergies might be a little worse. Forecast temperatures tomorrow, 72 in Sedona, 87 in Phoenix, 75 Page. Basically, temperatures going down a little bit, but still up there. And here in Flagstaff, we're actually going to see temperatures go down a pretty good amount. Like I said, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to see higher winds, high going down to 58 on Thursday. Then going down from there, 55 on Sunday. Believe it or not, Saturday and Sunday, we do have a 20% chance of precipitation. But although it's cooling down a little bit, it's not going to stay like that. I did peek ahead. We're going to go right back up to the 60s on Monday. So, and back to sunny conditions too. So this, we might see it. Probably won't last though. So we're probably going to continue to see those warm temperatures and some gusty conditions out there. And one thing you definitely will be seeing is sports with Kristen Chancellor right after the break. Stay with us.